Hello and welcome to a new video. What you see here right now are the top teams on PvPoke, and the first one is the one we want to showcase today in this video. Let's take a look if the best team on PvPoke actually can perform in the Open Ultra League. Why? Because honestly, Open Ultra League hasn't been really a meta that has been that interesting to me, at least recently, so I wanted to see what's supposed to be the best team here. And is this the best team? We will find out here together. What you're going to have here is a very interesting team. We're going to have one XL Pokemon, which you see currently on the screen, which is going to be the Primeape, which is generally not known to be a Pokemon with the greatest stats, like the bulkiest Pokemon, basically. So it's not really an XL Pokemon that is going to use the XL bonus there in order to get a massive amount of bulk. It's an XL Pokemon in order to get this Pokemon even to the 2500 level, which is, yeah, still a very attack-rated Pokemon here. Anyway, otherwise we're going to have here our Skeledirge, which has the option to go for the move Torch Song in order to boost its own attack up. And we're going to have, of course, our Florges here, which is going to have a lot of debuffing moves here, of course, with the Chilling Water. And then going to have also the Moonblast, which has also a 10% chance of debuffing the opponent's attack. And so, it could be a very cool team. But does it actually work out? Let's find out. Here, first battle. We're already looking quite in a solid position. We still have 3 Pokemon left. They only have a Belly Bolt left, and I have a lot of energy in all of my Pokemon. And so, I'm going to be able to take the first game home. But it's going to be that easy for the second battle as well? I doubt it, because we're gonna see here the one big weakness already for this team. Not only ghost types, but also Empoleon. And here, by the way, you see, I think all the battles I did with this team as well in today's video, so there's nothing cut out, because the idea behind this here to test out if the number 1 team on PvPoke actually works or not. And I have my doubts. I had my doubts already before because there have been some Pokemon that can be but just too tricky for this team. One of them is the Empoleon. Yes, you have one great answer for the Empoleon, which is going to be a Primeape. But what happens when you don't have the Primeape against this Pokemon? What happens then? Are you going to instantly lose then? Let's find out here though, because we're going to have now a shield disadvantage and we're going to have the Primeape against, a Ghost type. What do we do against Ghost type Pokemon again with this team? We have our lead being weak to it. We have a fighter with, it's going to have like a Rage Fist on that Pokemon here on the Primeape, which is going to be great coverage. But at the end of the day, your fast moves plus your hardest hitting move, Close Combat, is doing nothing. And so here, what we will see for this battle, I just cannot break through this Drifblim. And that is going to be a game over. So, next up, this might go better. We're going to see here Primeape against us. Sub out into the Drapion. I go into my own Primeape. I know I'm gonna be able to just completely destroy them with 1 Close Combat. I know I can take at least minimum 1 charge move first. I could even take 2, but then I decided to just go straight for my Close Combat here, just in order to get the KO here early. But the opponent decides to use a shield, and I'm curious if I'm actually even going to be able to guarantee get the KO here, as they're going to outspeed us generally. And that's going to be a bit tricky, as the Awkward Tail is going to come through here now. I can still go for Close Combat, but if the opponent wants to, they would have the option to guarantee the switch alignment here, and that is going to be a bit awkward. But they decide to actually swap out of here into the Giratina, which now allows me to go into my Florges, which can take most of their hits. Their hardest hitting move is going to be Ancient Power. And we're going to have the Moonblast, which is going to do some super effective damage. I doubt it's going to be enough damage in order to knock them out. And so we are going to put them here into a perfect farm range for our Florges. And of course, we will gladly take that. There's not really anything that I'm too worried about. As you're going to see as well, we're going to be able to go for the full farm down. And we have a ton of energy. This is looking really good for the third battle here. In comes the, what's called the Drapion. We're going to be able to knock them out. And with that, we are going to be in a very solid position now, as we will see here the Primeape, and I don't think the Primeape is going to knock us out yet though. The Rage is not going to be enough. We have the Moonblast stored, and that's going to be a good game. So far, 2 wins, 1 loss, not too bad. Moving on. Duskdawn. Again, what exactly are we supposed to do here? I'm going to start out here straight away into my Florges. I think that's my best play, because I'm going to be able to at least get to the Chilling Water before they get to their first charge move, and also to the second charge move. We're going to be able to outspeed them the entire time here, which is going to be great, but they swap out into their own Florges. And so the debuff that I just got didn't help me in any kind of way. It just full stop did not help me. We're going to get a debuff here onto the opponent. We're going to be able to take the Chilling Water, and I decided to swap out into my Skeledirge in order to get some energy advantage. Alright. We are not in the worst spot here. I'm still kind of curious on why Florges is not a part grass type Pokemon based on the design. But honestly, that's, in my opinion, the most questionable Pokemon. What other Pokemon can you think of that are questionable in terms of the typing based on their design? Another one that is kind of more popular is I think that a lot of people would like to see Luxray as a dark and electric type Pokemon and not just pure electric. I think that's kind of one of those Pokemon that could definitely have a bit of a different type. But yeah, let me know down below which other Pokemon you think could maybe deserve a secondary type, which they currently don't have. But yeah, anyway, we're going to see here. The Moltres is going to go for the Fly. They're going to go into the Florges, and like I have to kind of keep my shields here a little bit on me. Chingwater's coming through. I try to go for the full Farm Down, and it perfectly does not work out. I'm forced to go for a charge move in order to get the KO against the opponent, and as we will see, it does work out here. But now it's Dusk not coming back in. I needed to kind of fully farm them down there, but I knew I would have not been able to do that against the Fairy. And at this point, we just don't have a chance there. If I would have been able to knock out the Florges there directly, I maybe would have had a bit of a better play. Florges in the lead. And this is the awkward thing about the Skeledirge. And this is the awkward thing about most of the Fire-type Pokemon currently. While Fire-type was previously the best answer to a Pokemon like the Florges, as you're going to be able to resist the Fairy-type damage, this is not the case anymore, because they're going to have Chilling Water, and this is going to change those matchups quite significantly, because now all of a sudden, it's not that you're going to take a resisted damage there, no, you take super effective damage against you, and even though it's non-stab, it is still too much. And yet again, we find us against another Empoleon in the matchup with the Florges, and that is just something that happens way too often with this team. And this is just one of the bigger issues with it. And this is the thing as well, I don't really think that I played bad with this team, like, whatsoever. I do think that this team itself just can struggle against a lot of the current meta. And so, I don't know, this is, like, the last time I think I showcased the #1 team on PvPoke, I did it in the Open Great League and had a lot of fun, and the team was absolutely fantastic. But so far, I am not too sure on how I stand towards this team. I think this could be a team that has a few more weaknesses. But let's take a look here. We are going to see the Florges against us. We're going to try to go for our own Florges, so snipe them, knock them out. But it's going to be quite a bit more tough. As you can see here, that we're going to be able to get the KO. In comes the Lapras. That here generally is going to be a very solid matchup for us, but we are not in a position where we are going to be able to knock them out. Unless they decide to use a shield here, I might still have a chance. But yeah, actually we're going to see the shield coming up, but the opponent also is going to be knocking us out. It's going to be a good game, and we can move on to the next one. So, let's take a look here at the next opponent. It's going to go to the Steelix here onto our Water Moose, which is kind of crazy. So, let's take a look here. That's going to get some nice damage onto them, as well as the attack drop onto them as well. Of course, our House Moose don't do real damage, but they also don't really have anything to hit us with. So, we outspeed them, we do super effective damage, they do neutral damage. It's looking quite alright for us. I do think we should be able to kind of win this matchup here at least. But let's see how this is going to go. As we will see, there is going to be now the Chilling Water coming through, not soon actually, because they swap out of here. They go into the Carbonite. I go for the Rage Fist. I should be able to maybe even get a shield advantage here, because after one Rage Fist, I think that Close Combat is going to chunk quite a bit in those neutral scenarios. But let's see how this is going to go. Air Cutter is coming through, doing some solid damage. I can go for the Close Combat right away. And this is going to be able to get the shield. That's alright, but that doesn't mean that this is, yeah, going too great here. The Air Cutter is coming through. I'm going to see here the Close Combat coming in as well against the Steelix. It's going to, of course, knock them out straight away. And this is not really looking too great for us yet. We have to see what they're going to go into next. It's going to be the Corviknight again. It is the Corviknight, and with that, we can retaliate with the Skeledirge. But honestly, I actually thought that the Incinerate even would do more damage. I am kind of forced to go for the no shield here, because we kind of have to call at least something. I'm going to call it another bait here as well directly afterwards. And as you can see, we're still going to be able to survive it. There's going to be the Moltres, and I think this is looking quite good for us. I do think this might be even a win for us. As there is going to be now another Totem coming through, we should be able to force the shield from the opponent, and they're quite low already. So let's see here. In comes the Moonblast, and this should be kind of it. This should be able to knock them out. And with that, we can move on to the next opponent. So, let's take a look here. They're going to have the Empoleon coming in. And this is going to be yeah, a shield coming up. This is going to be the Hydro Cannon. As you can see as well, the opponent is going to be here still in a position where, honestly, it is not too bad. Like, it's not too bad for either side. But they're going to be able to, I think, win this in a 2-shield scenario guaranteed. So that's going to be a bit of a difficulty. As you can see here, the Torchic is coming through. It's going to very likely force the next shield from the opponent. And as we will see here, this is going to allow us to swap out into our own Florges, which is now going to be in a position we should be able to knock them out with another charge move. And so this is going to be another charge move coming in. That's going to allow us to go and get the KO against the Empoleon. Empoleon is gone, which is kind of alright for us. And they swap out into their own Florges. I can go for the Chilling Water, but apparently our Florges has a lower attack stat than the opponents. And with that, they're going to be able to knock us out. But not only this, they actually went for a Trailblaze, which means they're going to do more damage now with their Florges, with their next charge move. And so this Shadow Ball is going to come through doing some solid amount of damage. I swap out into my Primeape in order to put them into a position where I can just go for a charge move to knock them out. Chilling Water is coming through. They swap out into the Togekiss, and with that, we have basically no way of winning this battle. We just getting walled here left, right, and center. There is not a lot that I can do here, as we have another Rage Twist coming through. It barely is going to do anything. And so here, as we will see, there is not anything coming through, as this is going to be now charge move coming in. This is going to get this high shock onto us, and we're going to see that they're going to be able to knock us out now. So this is going to be interesting, as we can now move on to the next opponent. Here we're going to have the Talonflame against an Elite. This is going to be interesting, as you now have the Shadow Ball coming through. Shadow Ball is going to allow us to get the damage onto the opponent, and we're going to try our best to go for yet another no shield actually. Brave Bird is going to not knock us out. We're going to be able to survive it. They sub out into the Kyurem, and we're going to at least now have still an alright answer with the Florges, because Florges can resist the fast move. Florges should be able to hopefully also put them into farmland range after one charge move here, but it's going to be quite close. Let's see on how things are going to go. In comes here, the charge move is going to be the Moonblast actually from us. This is easily going to be enough to knock them out, and we will see the swap out into the Empoleon. Empoleon again against our Fairy type Pokemon, and this is the main issue that I had with this team here so far. It's just that every single time Empoleon was just in the worst position possible, and then we had to try to kind of navigate through this very stupid situation then with my backline. And this is just something here that just kind of didn't work out most of the times. As you see as well, the Talonflame still gets another move. With that, they are going to be able to boost themselves up. We can go for the full farm down, but as we see as well, we're going to have to go for the Rage Fist against the opponent. This Rage Fist is going to allow us to get some nice boost onto us. But as you can see, they're going to still go for a Drill Peck. Not knock us out. We can still have another charge move, but look at this. The opponent still has 2 shields left. There's not a lot that I can do about it. There's absolutely zero actually that I can do about it. And so this is going to be it for this battle. This is going to be a good game. Empoleon is going to be the biggest kind of weakness for this team. And the best thing is that I just only encountered it literally every single battle. So yeah, that is kind of course forcing quite a lot of losses. So, yet and again, another Ghost type Pokemon, and this is like kind of already summarizing the team itself. I don't think that this team is great. I personally do not think that this team is great whatsoever. Basically, if you encounter a Ghost type, especially in the lead, you are kind of screwed. If you encounter like the Empoleon, you're kind of screwed. Like, this is kind of something that at least I personally don't really like. I am generally a fan of calculated risks, so like risks that you take in order to achieve something, like basically losing certain matchups in order to dominate other ones. I do generally like that, but in this kind of case, it's just kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't work out. It really just does not work out. And that is something that I kind of have to tell you as well. I don't think it's a great team. And this is something that's just my honest opinion towards it. Yeah, we are here to try out a team. We are here to see if the best team on PvPoke is actually good. And in my opinion, I'm quite clear with it. It's not. Like, I am absolutely aware that I was quite unlucky here today. And that a lot of the matchups that I've seen here so far today should have mostly not happened like this. But that's okay. That is something that I know about, and it still do feel like that this team kind of struggles against a certain Pokemon, and they're just too common, and this is kind of a thing. Having a Ghost type in the lead is kind of really tough for us, especially with like Ghost type damage against us. It's just there are so many holes towards this team. They're just very difficult, if not impossible, to all kind of cover up. And so, yeah, here we're going to go down again to another ghost type. But yeah, as you're going to see, you know, we're going to move on to the final battle of today, where we're going to have a very great lead. But in comes the Feraligatr. What are we going to be able to do here? I do not know. And I do think that there is basically nothing I can do. There is basically nothing I can do here because, as we will see, the opponent is going to be able to just align itself. Like if they go into shield scenario, they should be able to align themselves, and that is then kind of impossible. Because as you can see, you know, we have all the Rachels coming through, but if they use a shield, they should be able to outspeed us, and I'm forced to swap out of here. They go into the Virizion. To be fair, a matchup that I should be able to kind of dominate, so that is kind of cool. But as we will see here as well, the Moonblast is coming through. This is going to just not really work out as well. The Moonblast is going to knock them out, but they're still going to have now the Sandslash in the back. And I'm kind of never having the correct alignment, and this is kind of a bit of an issue here. So as you will see, we're going to swap out, try to get the damage off, but they're going to be able to knock us out now with a Feraligatr. And I just never really got into track for that one. And this is going to be most likely also the final Ultra League battles for a bit. Actually, there's still some more that I kind of want to do eventually later, so you're going to see this as well. But I just didn't really enjoy this team. But this doesn't mean that we lost this battle. Let's see here real quick if this is going to work out, because he's still going to have the Rage Fist here from our Primeape, and I do think that Fast Move is not going to be enough, or the Charge Move's there, and this is going to be enough here to knock them out, so we're going to win the final one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.